Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mike Malbrough. Welcome back to Wallet Reset. Today's video, we're going to talk about the 4-hour work week. I'm going to give you my honest review of Tim Ferriss's book. I'm going to tell you if it's something that is useful for you or not. So you're going to want to watch this to the end. But before we get into it, let me just go ahead and get all of this out of the way, right? Because you know what I'm going to say next. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Like the video. And if you have any questions for me, any videos you would like for me to make for you, go ahead and drop your comment in the comment section. So anyway, getting right into it. 4-hour work week. So a basic summary of what the 4-hour work week is all about is about building efficiency into your business life so that you can have more time for fun, so that you can take more vacations, so you can do all this cool, great stuff, right? And I'm going to break this down two ways, okay? So first, I'm going to tell you from an employee's side of things how you can make this work for you, if you should do this for yourself, and the risk that you take, more importantly, and then the same thing on the entrepreneurial side, okay? And then I'm going to give you whether I recommend it or not. So the first thing, if you work at a job, right, the 4-hour work week may or may not be for you, all right? And the reason why is because essentially what the 4-hour work week tells you to do, right? And I'm not going to tell you everything and all the steps or whatever, but essentially what the suggestion is to use your job, obviously work really hard, do very good work, but you want to maximize your efficiency by essentially, number one, trying to get to the point where you can work from home. And once you can, outsourcing as much of it as you can, right? And obviously you would start outsourcing while you're still in the office, right? And that is what frees your time up to be able to essentially, you're managing the people who work for you now. You're not actually doing the work, right? So the thing that is the problem for that, the best way I can kind of like summarize the risk that you're in, is that you have now given information to some people who are probably overseas, somewhere in Thailand or wherever. And the reason why you've done this is to free up your time. Now, I've actually read articles. You can search online and find articles, I'm sure, because there's plenty of them where people have successfully done this as an employee, and then their employer found out that the work was being done remotely from a different country, and they knew that the person was not out of the country. And so that raises risk not for the employee only, but for the company that the person works at. And so obviously they didn't like that. They fired the person. So here's what I would say. If you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to keep that job, but you want to make this 4-hour work week thing work for you, you need to first tell someone about what you're trying to do. Tell someone that you're thinking about, hey, I want to hire some people to contract under me, and I just wanted to clear that and make sure that's okay with you. And the reason why is because there is a lot of risk that needs to be okayed, essentially. You don't want to just give somebody else's business the open door to, you get what I'm saying? And so make sure that you have approval from the upper echelon before you say, oh, I'm just going to do this 4-hour work week thing, because you can actually end up hurting yourself in the long run. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let me just tell you what the 4-hour work week is actually all about, okay? So really, it's a great book, all right? It's a great book because of the fact that it tells you all about being efficient when it comes to your business. And it tells you principles and techniques and it really goes into detail about how you can become more efficient, the steps you can take to become more efficient. And it even actually tells you how you can start a business to be more efficient. All right. So there are examples of, in the book, 4-Hour Work Week businesses where somebody just gets an idea, they launch a quick 4-Hour Work Week type business, and then they start making money. And it is possible to do. And this is primarily for the entrepreneurs now, right? It is possible to set up a business from the jump that is going to enable you to have a 4-hour work week. It does take a little bit of money. It takes some time. It takes some knowledge. It's not something that you're just going to not know anything about anything today, and then 2 weeks from now have a business that you can now just quit your job, and that's not realistic. What is realistic is that you can set up a business that will consistently give you a paycheck with a 4-hour work week. Okay. Now I say consistently give you a paycheck. That doesn't mean that you're gonna get rich. All right. There are people out there who use a system similar to this and make good amounts of money, like a couple $100,000 a year, and they're obviously happy with that income, right? And so they stay with a 4-hour work week. But here's the thing, and this is something that you have to also understand, that Tim Ferriss may use a 4-hour work week, but he doesn't only work 4 hours a week, right? He's definitely a hardworking person. So my thing is this, and a lot of entrepreneurs are going to understand and resonate with what I'm about to say. If you're an entrepreneur, most likely you're passionate about what you do. Most likely you got into the business on some level, even though you want to make good money, on some level, it's also to help people and to maybe give something of value to people that are in a place where you used to be. Maybe not everybody's like that, but I know that for me, that's why I do what I'm doing now. And so if that's you, the 4-hour work week really is not going to be what you're after. What you're actually going to get, and here's the thing, this is the group of people who will get the most value out of the 4-hour work week, is the people who are looking at it from a perspective of saying, okay, this book is about making your business efficient. How do I do that? Okay, and if you use that, it's not going to be 100% perfect right out the box, but if you use that as like okay, let me test this, let me see how this works, let me see how this works for me, and so on and so forth, eventually you'll get a good mix of stuff that you're like, okay, these few things were diamonds for me, the rest of it was coal. And you'll be able to throw away the coal, keep the diamonds, and improve your business, and so forth. So, ultimately, who is this book for? Who is the 4-hour work week written for? In my opinion, right, when I read the book, it's kind of a book that tries to entice people who want to kind of have a get-rich-quick mentality. And if that's you, don't buy the book. This book will be horrible for you. It will mess you up, because there's no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme. Right? I'm just going to tell you straight up. If you get rich quick, you will lose it just as quickly. So it's important to understand the framework of what you're doing. It's important to understand everything, right? Now, if you are an entrepreneur or trying to start a business and you're willing to say, okay, I'm going to take the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years to build a solid foundation, and then maybe when it gets to the point where I have all of these systems going and everything is moving well, maybe then I can think about trying to set it up as a true 4-hour work week, as in you only spend 4 actual hours in the business. But if you're trying to do that from the start, I just don't believe that you're actually going to be able to run that business properly. I think that it's going to be something that if you make money, it's quickly going to fail. And if you are interested in starting a business, right, I actually have a course that will walk you step by step. Obviously, you know where it's at. It's in the description if you're interested. But you need to understand that it's going to take work, right? So if you are not willing to work and you think that the 4-hour work week is the answer because it removes the amount of work you're going to have to do, you're mistaken. Because the only way to avoid doing work is to spend money. And if you don't have money to pay somebody to work for you, or if you don't have money for certain systems to put in place or anything like that, then you're not ready for a business. Maybe you can go sell something door to door, or maybe you can, sell stuff on eBay or something like that. But you're not ready for a business yet. Now, if you're an entrepreneur already, if you already have a running business, I would say use this book to pick apart, right, and to try to find things that you can use. If you are an employee, understand the concept of the book. Don't understand it from a perspective of I'm going to do this, but understand that the concepts of the book are to use as much efficiency as possible so that you can maximize your value, right? That's really, to me, the overarching value of this book is that it's all about enhancing your value by using leverage, right? And so even in what I do on a daily basis, there's things that I do that I could afford to hand off to people that I maybe just, I guess the best way to say it is I know how the feel of it should be, right? And then some of you, for entrepreneurs, some of you have to be the voice of your business, right? In some businesses you don't have to do that. Like if you have a maybe more of a generic blog or something like that, you can get away with doing 100% 4-hour work week, just outsource everything, and it will work fine. It's just not my thing, all right? And I guess that's really the thing. And you're going to have to make the decision yourself. So if you would like to check out the 4-hour work week, be my guest. If you think that that's something that you want to do, be my guest. If it sounds like the right thing for you, go ahead and do it. I think that what's going to end up happening is that a lot of people are going to try to do a 4-hour work week and realize that it's a little bit more of a expense, right? And that's really the main thing, is that the 4-hour work week costs more than just working hard. And if you make enough money to live the 4-hour work week, then you can afford to still work just as hard and hire more or outsource more or whatever you want to call it, right? You can afford to get the right systems in place. You can afford to do everything that needs to be done and still work just as hard as you normally would. I'm not really a fan of lazy. I used to be a very lazy person. I don't like lazy because I feel like it's a setup. But if you are, I'll say this, not lazy, but you have to be consistent. You have to be driven to maximize the value of what you put out. You still have to be great at what you do. There is no shortcuts. All right. But if you can use this in a way to maybe get some extra time to where, okay, well, this business can run like it runs with me stepping back and not having to put one foot in front of the other every single day, where you can afford to take a week or two off, great. If you can afford to take a month off, great. I just don't, it's something that maybe I just have to expand my mind to. But no matter how much money I make, I know myself enough now to say that I will still be driven to work, and I will probably still not be the person who goes out and buys a Ferrari or Lamborghini. Maybe, who knows? Maybe one day I'll make, $1 million a month, because I do not make $1 million a month. Maybe one day I'll make $1 million a month and I'll be like, why not? But I really don't, even in my gut, I'm like, I don't feel that. It doesn't even make sense for me to buy a Lamborghini or Ferrari. Anyways, kind of got on a ramble there, but you guys get the point. If you want a 4-hour work week, this book probably isn't for you. If you want efficiency, if you want to learn about something called Pareto's Principle and Parkinson's Law and make your life a better, more productive life, then this is for you, right? That's really what it is. It's all about productivity and efficiency. So this book is for you if you're into that, all right? Anyway, this is Mike Marlboro signing off. Hopefully you got something out of this. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Leave me a question. All right. If you guys want to see a book being reviewed, leave me the book name in the comments below and I'll make sure to do that review for you. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys on the next one.